But when you say he's just one of the boys, who from the Arsenal treble winning team, who from Jose's back-to-back title winners would you say are just the boys?
Leonberg, for example,
Michael Essien,
very good winger, but just Leonberg was one of the guys. I can't remember exactly who was it. Was it Lauren Letame Meyer, the right back for Arsenal treble? Was it Lauren Letame Meyer? There are a lot of people that were one of the people. I'm gonna give you something very, very underrated player, Park Ji-sung, very good. One of the people. By the way, he was Alex Ferguson loved him. I loved playing him, and he utilized him very well. Of course, it's a different type of talent. Park Ji-sung is a different type of talent. But what I mean is that utilizing the talent. However, Kevin De Bruyne is not one of the guys. Rodri is not one of the guys. I would argue Haaland, with what he did in that triple season, is not one of the guys, of course. He's getting all the goals.
Yeah, and what I find interesting about it is, again, we're seeing some names come through here, like Will Tor. I think that makes sense. Kanu. I think, obviously, the late, great Antonio Reyes. Big up, Overmars. I think it's very subjective to that fan base, and the reason that I say that is I think it's more about that fan base's opinion that matters more in terms of who is the boy who is integral at your football club. Because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could be considered one of the boys, but I actually think for Man United, it's not just our treble winnings, everything. He was an integral part of our squad. Remember, Fergie was the manager. People say he didn't introduce nothing into football. He made rotation work. He made it possible in the modern day game with far more football to win multiple trophies, and he did the double, then he did the double, then he did the treble, then he did did three-peats twice, then he did the fact teams are doing it now because of what that man created before him, in the modern day game, as it were. And by the way, he stands upon the shoulders of giants as well that came before him, and he's spoken about that. So it's one of these things, but it's the narrative with Phil Foden I'm not comfortable with, because I feel like when you bring it through to its nth conclusion, if you're honest, if you think about it and just address the logic towards Phil Foden, towards your own club, you start undoing the great things that excellent players for your club did. And I'm just not prepared to essentially sacrifice people at my football club to point score against Phil Foden. For me, Foden's been an excellent player for Man City. He's been amazing the majority of his career. I'm talking for his age. I am massively disappointed with him this season. This was an opportunity for him to step up. This was an opportunity to him to show Man City that I'm the man when KDB leaves. And I don't think he's done enough of that as of yet. However, am I prepared to take this 3 or 4 month period where I've been disappointed with him to go, this proves that everything before has been a mirage? I can't personally do it because I won't do that to one of my own players. I will not do that to one of my own players.
Let me make you more uncomfortable then, so I can weigh into this argument.
Go on.
Moving on from the Ginger Jorginho Paul Scholes to the real debate today, which is Phil Foden. Look, Mo, your shoulders are not.
Why does he have the hammer on his shoulder, bro?
Mo, your shoulders are not big enough. Sorry, you're gonna have to go to the gym.
Oh my god!
More, so you can just put the hammer on it, just nonchalant. Now, let me tell you something about Phil Foden. It's the biggest disgrace ever in this football in Premier League history that Phil Foden won Player of the Year last season because he scored a hat-trick against Brentford and Brighton. Rodri is the deserved winner of the Ballon d'Or. Rodri deserves to win Ballon d'Or. And Rodri was the best player in the Premier League last season, period. There is no argument or no logic whatsoever that anyone could apply. I told you, Mo, go to the gym. See? Terry, former boxer. Go to the gym, bro. You can just put it. Anyway. You're on mute.
I got my axe.
I could bring a bigger hammer if you would like.
It's an axe.
No problem.
It's a chopper. It's not a big axe. Little axe. Cutting my firewood. I'll get that on my shoulder.
Here's the thing. Rodri deserved to win Player of the Year last year. He did. Foden did not deserve to win that award. Unfortunately, as of late, and this didn't used to happen previously, as of late, a lot of these awards are now become storyline awards. Like, oh, it's the storyline that Phil Foden is now the guy. No. Rodri is the guy. I'm the same guy that made a video. It's on my channel. Rodri deserves to win Ballon d'Or. I cannot say Rodri deserves to win the best player award as an individual and then say Foden is the player of the season. Foden is not the player of the season. Rodri is. Rodri was the most important and best player of Manchester City. And Foden can have all the Premier League titles that he likes. He will never be remembered 15, 20 years from now unless he elevates his level to stop being one of the guys. Now, if I tell the young kids in this chat names like Jimmy Traore, and Igor Bishkan, who played in a semi-final against Chelsea, and Luis Garcia, and
sorry,
Sammy. Let me land
already. Wrong.
And Sammy Hipia. Those players might not be recognized by a lot of you, but everyone remembers Gerrard. Why? Significant. Now, I agree with Mo's take. The best player at City for me is Rodri. Then you've got the likes of Haaland. Then you've got the likes of Kevin De Bruyne. And the treble-winning season, which was City's best season that they had under Pep Guardiola, Gundogan was more important. Some might even say Grealish was more important. Some might even say that their defenders were more important. Ederson, with specifically that performance in the final. Phil Foden, for me, is third in the Palmer, Saka, and Foden debate. He's comfortably third. And if you ask me tomorrow, you could sign one player for your football club. The last person I'd sign out of those three is Phil Foden. I'm signing Saka first, and then I'm signing Palmer, and then third, I'm signing Foden. And this season, I do agree with Igal. I'm going to make that even more uncomfortable. There's a reason why team success should not be used as a measuring stick to compare individuals. Because if I just take Bukayo Saka from the last 2 years, put him at Man City, guess what? They still have 2 Premier League titles. And by the way, maybe they have a bigger chance of maybe winning something else or more titles. This is why I'm saying the individual, yes, leads to winning a trophy. Yes, individuals are responsible for winning a trophy as a collective, but there's levels to this game. Don't just add up trophies and compare individuals. Like, oh, player X has 30 trophies.
Yeah.
Player Y has 5 trophies, so player X is better.
But nobody is doing that. But on that same point, though, me and you have had conversations before about Gerrard and Scholes, and you'll point out the individual awards that Scholes has won. I forever have challenged those individual awards, saying I think they're flawed. Ever since we had those debates 4 years ago in Spaces, every Ballon d'Or award ceremony and multiple Premier League PFA award ceremonies, I've seen you, Hassam, call out the wrong people have won them. So by your own logic, the individual awards that you say are more important for players than the team awards, you say are actually when they're given to players. Hang on, please let me finish. When they're given to players that you subjectively don't agree deserve them, you say they're meaningless. But yet, when they're given to players that you agree with, you say they're the be-all and the end-all. The problem here is everyone's allowing subjectivity to get in their way. I agree. You don't just look at player awards. You don't just look at what teams have won. But you mentioned players there, like, people like Smitzer and people like that. Foden is well above them. Foden is well above a player at Man United in our treble-winning season like Jasper Blomqvist. He is far more integral than that.
Look at the name you mentioned, though.
Hang on.
Who did you just say for Man United? Say that name again. Who did you say?
Jasper Blomqvist.
Yeah, but you didn't even mention like an Oli level player.
But no, again, but I've already said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was integral. So I mentioned Jasper Blomqvist because you mentioned, who did you mention from the Liverpool team?
I mentioned Bishkan, Smitzer, Traore.
For me, them man are Phil Foden is well above it. You're mentioning the players. Who's that centre back? That Garcia. That's Garcia level City players from their treble winning season, and that is disingenuous to Phil Foden. He was a player that season, their treble winning season. Looking at here, the man played 48 games for the football club. 32 in the Premier League, 8 in the Champions League. The only Champions League games he didn't feature in was when he had an injury and when he was recovering from an injury. But he played in every other game. He played in every single round, barring one against Arsenal in the FA Cup. And he played considerable minutes in all of these games. So literally in the Premier League that season, there's only 2 games, where he played under 20 minutes. One was 17 minutes, one was 3 minutes. The rest of them were 60 minutes plus, or the couple of games where it was 3 minutes and 7 minutes after an injury, right, when he's getting his fitness back. In the Champions League, looking at this here, so many, like 90 minutes, 70 minutes, 81 minutes. So again, I get your point, but I think you're being disingenuous and intellectually dishonest with it. You're going too far one way. But look, we'll let the viewers decide. I want to do a few super chats here. Of course, hit the like button, please. Thank you, everybody. Mo is getting sacked in the morning. No, of course he isn't. No. I love the challenge, and it's all part and parcel of what we do. And that message reading something regarding gigs. Regarding gigs. Okay, I'll get that in a minute. I would have put Giggs in hospital if I was his brother. If Foden shits the bed in the next 3 or 4 seasons, then we can have this conversation. I agree.
3-4 seasons. You're giving him 3-4 seasons.
No. It's about writing off his whole career. Like, again, if he goes back to being brilliant for the rest of this season, from tonight to the end of the season, if he's brilliant, then does that end the conversation forever? No, it doesn't. It's.
But I don't think Foden is brilliant. Why am I not allowed this opinion? I don't get it.
No, that's fine. It's not, and that's. But I don't mind that opinion when it's said directly. It's the way people try and style it out with mad agendas.
Kevin De Bruyne is brilliant. Haaland is brilliant. Rodri is brilliant. Foden is not brilliant.
Okay. If we had a good team and there were games when we were not getting played well, then Henry took control and won us the game. Again, I've seen Phil Foden win games for Man City. I don't think he's as good as Henry, but I've seen him win games, score winning goals for City. City fans, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Blue is the color. Take it game by game, one step at a time. I think you're spot on there, Statshaw, CFC, when it comes to doing that. Foden's awards, like everything at City, is got an asterisk on it.
Oh, wow.
Spam 115 on the chat.
I like it. Listen, I want to thank everyone who's tuned into the show.